So what is up, ladies and gents? Today I'm going to be showing you the easiest and fastest way to get rich as a beginner inside of Grow A Garden. And now we're talking literally billions and billions, and obviously, if you know, you're really into the game, potentially even into the trillions. Now this is just purely for, beginners. If you don't understand the core functions and mechanics of mutations, how they get obtained, their effects on crops and all this stuff, I'm going to be explaining literally everything in regards to, like moon melons, the Twilight update, moon mangoes, moon melons, glitches, all this stuff. This is going to be loaded with information just for you to fully optimize your base to make literally billions. Now, once again, we are close to 150k subs, so make sure you do subscribe to claim the 150 OG ticket, and more information on the giveaway later in the video. Now, starting off with the setup stage, pretty much. So obviously, Grow A Garden dropped 2 updates recently. Obviously, one of them is the cosmetic update, which did obviously, kind of suck, but these cosmetics are expensive, so you do need to make money. They also included the new Twilight shop in the lunar update. So this is going to be the main way we're going to obtain money, which I'll show you in a second. Mainly though, to hyper focus on the cosmetic shop. If you want to be able to afford, whenever it reloads in, to be able to just easily go through and buy all this stuff without going broke. Like all of my crops right now, I know I'm going to be able to go back through and claim all of them. And I'll show you in a second how much I'll be able to sell for. So over in my garden, we'll just start off by making sure I do have all my moonlit crops saved, because I'm doing another video on that later. Should be good. Hope I don't miss one. And we're going to start off by looking at all the mutations that these crops have. So obviously, as you see, these moon melons are huge compared to your normal moon melon, which will probably look something like this. So you might be wondering why these ones are so much bigger. I'll show you in a second how they're obtained this big and how to get all of these mutations on them, which are going to make them sell for literally hundreds to thousands of times more. Obviously, starting off with the main setup. So to make them bigger, you're gonna have to use what's called the sprinkler glitch or the sprinkler method. And additionally, to get more, value out of each plot, if you're not able to do plot expansions that effectively, because once again, they are kind of pricey, I would recommend using the seed placement glitch. Now, I have a full video on both of these, which will be up in the top right corner if you want to go click on over that. But mainly though, we're going to look over the seed placement glitch. Is obviously going to be that video, but we're going to show you the sprinkler method and how this one is obtained. Now, the sprinkler method being one of the more simple and long-lasting glitches inside of Grow A Garden that they still, once again, have yet to patch, is going to still somehow be the most broken. Now, the way this is going to work is it's going to force your crops to be this big. Like obviously, as you look over here, this is a normal cacao, and this is the cacao we're getting out of it. This humongous chungus little boy right here. All these cacaos were obtained with this method, and you might know how literally all of them are big. This was the only tree, I think, that I literally just grew. So all the other ones were affected by this. Well, these peppers are huge. These grapes they're not massive, but they are above average, I would say. And these bananas are also all huge. And this is how you're going to do this. So starting off with sprinklers, if you don't know how these are obtained, quick rundown. They're obtained over in the gear shop just for heavy amounts of credits. Now, obviously, I'd recommend starting with at least the advanced one, because this is a note, once again, if you are a beginner, sprinklers affect growth speed and a fruit size. The advanced sprinkler affects growth speed and mutation chances. Increase growth speed and mutation chances. So basic sprinkler does increases growth speed and fruit size. Advanced sprinkler increases growth speed and mutation chances. The godly sprinkler increases growth speed, mutation, and the size. And then the master sprinkler just does this, but way better. But the master sprinkler rarely comes in and is super expensive. So I'll go over which ones you should probably use in a second. So obviously, I'd recommend the basic sprinkler to start off, because this is, pretty basic for the noobs that are watching this video. Because once again, the basic one's all you really need. If you're trying to hyper focus on increasing the plant size, use the one that doesn't increase its size, if that makes sense. So we're going to use the basic sprinkler if you have them. So over in your UI, you click up here or click the back quote button, and you're going to come on and click this icon right here. Now, this is going to be the basic sprinkler, and pretty much you're just going to, obviously, as you see, it has a smaller range. Just scatter it around all your crops, but obviously before doing that, make sure you do, click E, whatever, and claim all your crops. This is just going to ensure, because this can't affect mutations or boosts on crops that are already grown, so you need to make sure you claim them before you do this. So make sure you go through, claim all the crops, and then place down the sprinklers. And then upon doing this, pretty much the way the glitch works, if you didn't know, the game, obviously, the core mechanic around Grow A Garden, as pretty much all of their things say, is grows offline. Now, the reason why this is something to hyper focus on, the sprinkler has a 5-minute timer, unless it's the master, which has a 10-minute. And the way this is going to work is by turning and leaving, just straight up leaving the game, it's going to continuously affect your crops. And whenever it does the whole, your crops grew while you were offline thing, it's going to then built-in like whiplash effect, all of the time spent AFK and the effect that the sprinkler has all at once to the crop. So instead of, all your crops growing in, it's pretty much going to regrow all of your crops and be like, oh yeah, they left the sprinkler running for 3 hours, right? So we'll give them like 3 hours worth of boost from, say, the basic sprinkler, so they'll get really big. Obviously though, the basic sprinkler doesn't have that big of an effect. I'll show you the better one in a second. That's pretty much the core mechanic around it. So once again, clear out your crops and then you'll leave the game. And then once you leave, I would recommend leaving for at least 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, just to get better value out of the sprinkler. Unless you're using something like master sprinklers, then it really doesn't matter. You can join in like 30 minutes later and they'll all still be gold, big, rainbow, whatever. Now the next thing is going to be the mutations. So obviously before I claim these, as you see, they have a crazy amount of mutations and there's a lot of things that affect this. Starting off with the lightning rod, as obviously it seems, this is going to redirect lightning this point. And as you see, a lot of these have the mutation shocked. Now this is going to be obtained with this weather event. Now, once again though, this is a gear that is going to be obtained over in the gear store, and it is pretty uncommon for this to come in, and a great way to get noted whenever these are in the game. Instead of coming in every 5 minutes, what you can do is join a server with a stock notifier, just like mine. Mine Discord server will notify you when there is both a new stock in, both gear and seeds. We have an egg stock notifier and a weather event notifier. Very much recommend you join that, because then you can be notified by all this without having to stay in the game and check all this stuff. Just like the notifier just told me, there is a godly sprinkler in stock, so I'm going to go cop that real fast. And as you see, godly sprinkler in stock. Perfect. Now I can use this for the sprinkler glitch later. Now the next thing we're going to do, pretty much we're going to look at the base mutations, I would say, to try to get on these things. So the next thing is going to be using what's called a star caller. Now the star caller is going to do what's called redirecting, same way with the other one, and it is going to pull or a meteor towards your thing. Now I could probably get flamed for the difference between a meteor and a meteorite. I don't care. Anyways, what's going to happen is, once again, with the weather events, there's going to be what's called a meteor shower. As you see right here, streaks of light tear across the sky. It's a meteor shower. Meteors are falling, may bring rare surprises and bonuses to your garden, and this is going to be how you obtain the celestial mutation. Now the celestial mutation is going to have a 125x sell value on the crop that it affects, which is massive considering if a base thing like a beanstalk, which has like a 22,000 base sell value, if you get a 22,000 and then multiply it by 125x, you see how that goes, and it's going to do this on these crops as well. Now the next thing we're going to note is the other mutations I'd recommend getting. At least try to get celestial and shocked, and if you can't, try to get frozen. Frozen is obviously, you see these big ice things. This is going to be one of the easiest mutations you can get, and it's going to have a 10x sell value on your thing. Especially for starters, this is going to be really easy, especially if you do the sprinkler glitch, so you'll literally like rejoin. They'll get really big, gold, rainbow, whatever, and then you can get frozen really fast. Now the way you obtain frozen is going to be, there are 3 variants to the mutation. So there's going to be the wet mutation, which is obviously after it rains. There's going to be the water wet whatever effect on a plant. Obviously this one's wet right here, so I'll pull out the wet thing. It's going to look like this, and it's going to like be dripping water from it. As it's shown, it's clearly wet. Now the next thing is going to be the variant, which is going to be called chilled. So if the chilled variant is more rare, I would say, because usually you'll have a wet crop before you have a chilled crop, and the chilled crop is going to have a 5x sell value. I think wet has a 2x and chilled has a 5x. And now combine these together. If your crop is wet and then it gets, the ice weather, so it first rains, then it gets wet, and then it gets cold with the ice snow. I think it's called snow weather event. Then it will go from cold, wet, or whatever, to now frozen is going to combine the 2x from wet and the 5x from chilled and give you the 10x multiplier from frozen, which is a cool little thing to note. But this is going to be basic, like easiest, I would say, to get, because if you AFK just for a bit, as I'll show you in a second, if you pretty much come on over to our stock notifier, as you see, there you go. This is notifying that the godly sprinkler was in, but the weather events, as you see, rain alert, snow, rain alert, meteor, rain, thunder, rain, meteor. So as you see, rain and snow are going to be one of the most common, but as you might have heard, we have the thunder one. Now you might be wondering what thunder is. The thunderstorm is going to be what causes the lightning storms. It could be lightning or thunder, whichever way you look at it, and this is going to be what strikes this thing. Now do note, these things only affect this area, and the way these work is the area of effect doesn't mean that they're going to affect that whole area. What this means is it can redirect, if I could align my mouse over it correctly, it can affect this whole green circle, but like it can pull a meteor from that circle. So if a meteor is going to land in that circle, it's going to pull it to itself. It's not going to affect that full circle. It's going to just pull a meteor if it's going to land in that circle to that spot, meaning you need to strategically place these. So I usually place them directly under high value crops, as you see right here. So my moon mangoes, my moon blossom tree, I'm going to place the lightning rod directly under it, meaning if lightning strikes, it's going to hit straight down onto my moon mango mango and moon blossom trees. Now, the next thing is going to be the golden rainbow variants. Now, this is the only mutation that is not weather-based. Now, this is going to, only way you can apply this is if it's growing with that mutation. Now, the only way you can get, I think it's just gold, is if you have the dragonfly, which if you don't know, the dragonfly is from the bug egg, which I think was discontinued. But the bug egg was pretty much going to give you this effect. Now, there is also a chicken jockey, which if you don't have the chicken jockey, this is a great time to note I am doing a giveaway. And to enter, all you got to do is like and subscribe and comment your username down below. And you might be wondering, what are we giving away? Well, we're giving away a chicken jockey. And we're not only one, but we're giving away multiple, so you have even better odds. So make sure you like and subscribe and comment your username down below, because we will be checking the commenters if they have subscribed. So make sure you subscribe before commenting your username to enter into the giveaway. Now, the next thing to note is once you obviously have all of these things put together, now we're going to select and claim. Now, obviously, I would recommend if you do have the mutations like bloodlit or moonlit, it would be of better value for you to save that and apply it to the lunar shop. So usually what I'll do is I'll search lit, and this will apply for bloodlit and moonlit since they both can be used. And I'm going to go through and just try to find one of the crops, save it, and by harding it, this will keep it from being sold. And I believe that's all of them. I really hope it is. And then we're going to go over and let's see how much we sell just that little harvest from. 16 billion. Oh my gosh, that's actually a lot. Okay, I was not expecting 16 billion. Anyways, let's keep claiming. So we've made 16 billion so far. As you see, that's the size of a normal moon melon. Let's keep claiming. Now we're over in the blood bananas. 16 billion is actually wild. Holy. Okay, I am noticing though there are a ton of rainbow ones. So I'm going to search lit again. And I need to keep saving these because I am trying to make a video later to see if I can go through the thing once over. Let's sell again. What do we get? Oh, almost 6 billion. What? Okay, let's keep going. If I combine these, also another thing to note is if you have crops like the beanstalk and stuff, they're a pain to collect from. There's a new tool called the harvesting tool. Use this. I'll show you how it works in a second. But this is going to be how you make I would say effectively claim these crops, since they are 100% a pain to claim because of how big they are. So I'm going to sell my inventory. Oh, another 3 billion. Oh, wait. So we're going to use the harvesting tool and literally just click on the thing and it's going to pull all of the things off of it. So I can just click on this one. It's going to do that. This one. It's just literally going to strip the entire thing of it. Yeah. As you see, we kind of got a lot of space already taken up with all of these ones. Holy crap. That was a lot of billions.